while Tony and Mike are keeping working, getting Ricky and Swanee out the door on the first of our 3 EVAs. This is a view of the space station airlock hatch from outside as they open the thermal cover. In the second view, Swanee's outside and Ricky's in view through the hatch, and he's coming on out. And then as soon as they got out, they scampered up to the S5 truss. S5 is where we're going to install the S6 truss. And here we have Swanee coming up on S5, and in the top of the picture you see the claw, which is going to grab the S6 truss. And here's the gap between the 2 trusses as we're driving it in. There's Koichi and I in the inset driving it in with a robot arm. And once the claw had grappled it and dragged it in, the EVA guys still had a lot of work to do to configure the truss. They've folded out the blanket boxes and what's called the beta gimbal assembly. In other words, all the support structure for the truss, for the solar blankets themselves. And now the ground has commanded a deployment of the photovoltaic radiator that keeps all the electronics cold. Then the EVA guys were just about done. The radiator's deployed, and the next scene you'll see us, you'll see a happy joint EVA and robotics crowd after a long but successful day. Then the next day, flight day 6, was a moment of high drama as we deployed the solar arrays, some of which had been in the box for nearly 8 years. We had a beautiful plan that was put together by the Falcon team, and they did a lot of the commanding, and then the crew did some as well. You can see the whole crew here on the Space Station Robotics Workstation area. Every one of us had a job to do, and the plan went really well. You see me there with my finger on the abort button, but I never had to push it. We had a great plan. It went smoothly, and we brought the station to full power.
Well, besides the S6 and solar array tasks, the EVA crew members had other tasks to complete. Here, Joe's working on pulling that UCAS up into the very robust detent position. And here's from my helmet cam looking out. You can see Joe working away on the diagonal brace beam. And again, here I am on the UCAS working on tying it down. And Joe got to take a ride. We moved the seated cart from the port side to the starboard side. And Koichi's driving this. It's like a fast Japanese sports car here. But Joe says he couldn't feel a thing the whole time. And here, Ricky's working on his skills to be a mechanic. He's lubing the latching end effector of the station robotic arm. And you can see the fruits of his labor there as the snares open and close. And then our EV tasks were done, and it was time to come on in. And again, we had a happy crew after the end of each EVA. Everybody was pretty happy. It went well. And Tony's job and Koichi's job, of course, to get us undressed at that moment. And besides